If your determination is fixed, I do not counsel you to despair. Few things are impossible to diligence and skill. Great works are performed not by strength, but perseverance. Samuel Johnson. My friends, each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that is what you must persevere in, and you can do this. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks, gold, and Bitcoin are up. Bonds are down. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. We saw last week where we had a green spinning top, higher than average volume. We did reach a higher high this week. We do see that for the first day of the week, SPY is up just over 1%, but we have a little red doji forming there. Now that may end if things continue to go up. As we look at the first day of the latest two-day candle, we can see that we are decently below the trend line. That was the up trend line, the weekly trend line, which is what we always go off of. And as we look at it at the weekly chart, we can see that doji's just below it. This little red down candle is below it, just the first day. We can see where we had 1, 2, 3.5 days of strong down movement, then popping up on Monday, staying just below that weekly trend line. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes. It's going to be a pop-up on Monday, and then everything else is going to move down, or is the market just going to take off again to get even higher highs? We don't know. We shall wait and we shall see. Now we move on to the NASDAQ 100, and it was an even stronger day for it, up 1.49%. So about 50% higher. And what do we see going on here? Well, we had higher than average volume week before last, and we had the interim high. Last week we had a doji. Well, I guess it's really a red spinning top, almost a doji. And look at all that volume where we had things again. And we said at the close of the week, we were right there on the weekly trend line, and that is the totally updated weekly trend line, but it showed a lot of weakness. As we look at the Heikin-Ashi candlestick showing us the average pace, we can see that we, again, are moving down, even though it was an up day. The beauty of Heikin-Ashi candlesticks is they help us see average pace, and that average pace is, again, showing us a slowing. Now, we look and we also see that we have a red volume line. What does that red volume tell us? Well, it doesn't tell us it's negative volume. It tells us when it's red versus green, if you go from green to red, it means that, of course, the opening is lower than the prior close. Same here for this week. The opening is lower than the prior close. Now, we did close up, and you can see it on the half-day Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. It was up 1.49%. We have a red down candle, not reaching a lower low from the prior two-day candle. This is just the first day. It is green volume on this particular candle. It actually opened higher than the prior close. So again, a little different with where we are on the weekly compared to the two-day, compared to the half-day. We still have a lot of downward pressure. We have 3.5 days of strong downward pressure versus this one, so we'll see what the chart tends to do. When we tend to have high volume or average, a little average plus volume reaching an interim high, and then a rollover with that kind of volume and that kind of indecision tends to move down. We'll see as this week moves along which way it goes. Now, let's look at where we are on 20-year U.S. government bonds. They are down for the day, and we shall keep our eye on things. Again, as we watch, as we wait, as we see with 20-year U.S. government bonds, they are just sort of in this sliding sideways, not really telling us much of anything. We'll just have to wait till it sorts itself out. If you don't have a chart that tells you what to do, then what do you do? Nothing. You wait for a chart to tell you which way it's going. Gold, almost flat, up just a little bit, 0.3%. You can see we just got almost nothing there. It's hard to see anything. Now, on the two-day chart, It is showing you, again, a red down candle trying to pierce, or actually piercing, that weekly trend line. You can see on the half day, it was down in the morning, up a little bit in the afternoon. Again, overall 0.03% up. Looks like gold may be bouncing off yet again this area. That this would be the third time it is bounced off of this area, if indeed it continues to move down. This ceiling, purple lines on our charts are always ceilings or floors. Here a ceiling. Now if gold bullies up and pushes through that, that's telling us a lot, isn't it? Yes. Let's look at where we are on HODL, up 1.56%. Now again, as we talked about, what did we see happen? We had 5 weeks, really 4 weeks of decent down movement, average volume here, and then higher than average on the turnaround. And of course, Bitcoin continues. Now, we've had Bitcoin, again, find this ceiling here. We'll see this time as Bitcoin moves up whether it's going to pierce that and keep going or not. Look at the charge of the 2-day candles going up, 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 up. Again, beautiful to see. We can see where we had on the half-day chart there last Wednesday, and then Thursday morning slowing down, moving down, and then taking off Friday morning. I guess that was Thursday afternoon. Yeah, down. And then Friday morning up and Monday morning up. We will keep an eye on things as we charge through this next week. The main thing I'm going to be watching for is on this QQQ down trade, if it's going to continue and move in the right direction for us. We had the signals of it doing that, and of course meaning that we pulled our trade at the end of last week on the up move, and of course converting into a down move going short on the Qs. We'll see where it leads us. If it works, it works. This last one worked beautifully. I mean, literally our worst jumping in point there at the end of the week. The worst jumping in point on the week beginning 29th of April was the high of 435.79. And then, of course, with our down week last week, the worst point to get out last week was the low of 473.94. I would say 435, we'll say 436 to 474. That's not bad movement in just those few weeks. In fact, that is great movement. I hope you were in that practice trade with us. That is where we are, folks, as we end the day on Monday. Hope you're getting ready for another exciting week. We'll continue to chart these charts with you each and every day. We always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Patreon members, thank you so much for your continued support. You help underwrite the cost of the channel, and we appreciate you. We hope we make it worth your time. With the 3-wave trades, charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies, we're released to you early every week. And, of course, the weekly vertical crossovers. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.